There are too many unresolved plots and characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This problem has long plagued the MCU. Multiple minutes were devoted to introductions in the Avengers Endgame climax. A plethora of new characters have been added in recent years through a number of films and Disney Plus series. And the introduction of the multiverse has added several more decades of history to this already complex universe. Adding all these extra individuals is acceptable as long as there is a purpose, and you aren't just frantically trying to keep developing without any end in sight, which is a typical grievance about this universe after Endgame. However, in its ongoing expansion, Marvel has frequently lost sight of the tiny. It's easy to forget that some of the best MCU films and television series have exhibited restraint. For example, WandaVision's throwback to a classic sitcom, Spider-Man: Homecoming, which is essentially about a high school student, and Loki, which has enormous stakes, but ultimately becomes a character portrait of everyone's favorite villain-turned-hero. Even if it feels like it sometimes these days, not everything has to be a multiverse of lunacy. Thunderbolts, which transforms secondary, frequently evil characters from other projects into a misfit superhero squad that prefers to operate in the gray regions, is here to start the summer season and ease both of the aforementioned problems. It also demonstrates the need of self-control, character development, and the relationships between these heroes, all without compromising the high stakes, as the MCU has become more complex and prepares for its next significant conclusion of multiple phases. Thunderbolts returns to the foundation of what has worked in the past and produces one of the most entertaining and truly poignant MCU flicks since Endgame. The opening of Thunderbolts is CIA Chief Valentina Allegra de Fontaine sends Antonia Dreykov, John Walker, Ava Starr, and Yelena Belova to a covert complex to fight each other as she faces impeachment for illicit actions. A man named Bob shows up out of nowhere after Starr murders Dreykov. They escape from the trap after discovering that de Fontaine sent them to be burned along with proof of her actions. After Bob diverts de Fontaine's forces, who then start shooting at him, Belova, Walker, and Starr leave the area. Bob flies higher after rising from the gunshots and then crashes back to the compound. After listening in on de Fontaine's activities while working as a freelance driver, Alexei Shostakov picks up Belova, Walker, and Starr before Bucky Barnes captures them and uses them as proof that de Fontaine should be impeached. Barnes joins the group, and they storm through the old Avengers Tower after discovering that Bob was the focus of one of de Fontaine's top-secret projects. There, they learn that Bob has been genetically altered by de Fontaine to become Sentry, a human who quickly overwhelms the squad and drives them from the tower. Sentry goes against de Fontaine because he believes he is a god with greater power than the Avengers. But de Fontaine's secretary Mel activates a death switch to deactivate him. However, this brings forth Sentry's bad side, called Void, which engulfs the city in darkness and transforms everyone in its vicinity into shadows. Belova enters the shadow dimension after realizing that the only way to halt Void is to get to Bob from inside. She reaches Bob after recounting her past experiences, and then Walker, Starr, Shostakov, and Barnes join them. Go back in time to when Bob was being used for experiments in Kuala Lumpur. They run into Void there, who renders the anti-heroes immobile before Bob assaults him. When the anti-heroes realize that Bob is becoming Void as a result of the conflict, they escape and step in to reassure Bob that he is not alone. Void vanishes as a result, and the darkness and shadows return to normal. She entices the anti-heroes to a news conference and presents them as the new Avengers as they are ready to capture de Fontaine. 14 months later, in a post-credit sequence, satellites show a spaceship with a huge number 4 on it, and the new Avengers receive a communication from space.
That concludes our review for today, but the discussion is far from over. For more, leave a comment, hit like, and subscribe for more videos. Keep the magic of movies alive until the next time, signing off from FK Bytes.